Here we go, game 2 of this best out of 3 series, taken from the JustinTV Invitational. Once more a battle, a TVZ between the red Terran Drewbierepresenting Team Root Gaming, player from Canada, one of the solid Terran players playing on the North American servers, and his opponent, the Macro Monster, the Zerg Master, EGIdrA representing Team Evil Geniuses, Greg Fields, now heading back home to the US and starting to show his skills and his playstyle on the North American tournament scene and hopefully on the European tournament scene as well. And well, they're gonna have here the second match of this series, throwing a couple of spoilers for whoever didn't watch the game 1. Well, you should have been and watched that one. Here goes the spoilers. EGIdrA is leading 1-0. He actually dominated that match. Well, basically Drewbierisked and tried to have a confrontation with him right in the middle of the map, and EGIdrA had a lot of creep already spread on that area, with Banelings with speed, Zerglings with speed and Mutalisks. He basically finished off the entire army from Drewbie. All those Zerglings just chewed through those units, and the Banelings splashing all that acid into that flash from the Marines, backed up by Mutalisks making a magic box on top of the Thors, and it was bye-bye Drewbie. Just finished off instantly in like 10-15 seconds. The whole battle was over, and Drewbie decided to GG and just transition into game 2. I think it was the best option because he didn't stand much of a chance on that situation. So now we're here on game 2. As you can see, it's on the new map that it's kind of a Lost Temple revision. It's called Shattered Temple, and basically they took the islands and took a lot of ledges to try to balance the matchups here between different races. Also added these long corridors here with destructible rocks with access to a base there, basically to replace the islands we had before on Lost Temple. And there's a big wide area here for battles to happen, with a lot of room for concaves and long lines to battle each other. So pretty interesting there. I think the map now is actually more interesting and probably more balanced. I guess I need to check more matchups here. And as you can see for now, Drewbie just heading straight into his opponent's base after scouting there on the west side and found nothing, while EGIdrA just went straight south, found his opponent, but the wall off is already finished and he's gonna lost his drone. Ooh, no more scouting there for EGIdrA, while Drewbie preparing a bunker and is gonna try some harass onto the natural expo of EGIdrA. He went hatchery first once more, then placed the spawning pool second, so he's in trouble now. He's gonna have to pull some of the workers out of that mineral line to finish off this SCV before he finishes that bunker. SCV survived, but the bunker isn't finished, and Drewbie was even sending some Marines up, as you can see, but now 4 workers against this Marine. I don't think he's gonna be able to manage this, and probably Drewbie will be forced to cancel this bunker, there we go, before he actually loses it for the workers that are just poking at it till death. And now workers starting to mine on the natural expo, and EGIdrA playing out of 2 bases just fine, while that first initiative from Drewbie failed, and now he's forced to pull all the way down. Meanwhile, inside his base we have barracks and going for a factory now, while EGIdrA apparently is heading with his first batch of Zerglings straight south, pushing away, pushing down all of the forces from Drewbie once more, trying to catch them. Only 3 Marines, now 4, and now EGIdrA deciding to pull back up once more and assure that he's just gonna be able to drone away and get these mineral lines as saturated as possible. Queens popping up there, 2 queens already, everything flowing on his base. Gonna have another confrontation here, losing one of his Zerglings and pulling up north once more. I don't think that EGIdrA has here enough to fight against that small group of Marines, to be honest. And Drewbie once more taking control of the Zalnaga watchtower. Meanwhile, on his main base, Rax just finished, also the factory, and now he's going for the starport. So a 1-1-1 opening while he advances with his Marines and the first stallion that came out of that factory. So we're gonna have some aggression here, with EGIdrA instantly going for 1 spine crawler, but it's still on his early stages, so this is gonna take a while to actually have it out. And meanwhile, Drewbie trying to focus his fire on the spine crawler, finish it off. He knows that if that spine crawler pops, it's gonna be troublesome for him, forcing EGIdrA to cancel it, and now advancing into the mineral line of EGIdrA on the natural expo. Incoming EGIdrA just pulling all these forces, trying to finish off this small advance from Drewbie. Nice movements by Drewbie, but slowly getting poked at and several of his units dying, and now he's just cornered against those destructible rocks with several of those Zerglings poking at it. There's not much left of the forces that Drewbie sent back up, and almost the Zergling speed done. So I'm guessing that these 2, yeah, there it is, those two Marines are just finished, and once again the aggression from Drewbiethwarted that second wave of assault. And now Drewbiemaking a switch here, getting his tech lab attached to the starport, and gonna make a different kind of a RAS, as you can see, transitioning into Banshees, getting a second and third racks, I think. Let me look. One racks there, and now getting the gas, the refinery. No, for now it's just 3 racks play exactly, and with the Zerglings knocking on his door, but basically it's closed and Zerglings will take ages to actually destroy these buildings, while his Banshee arrives on the main base from EGIdrA, getting detected there by the Overlord, and now going straight into that base, noticing that EGIdrA is going for the lair tech, as you can see, preparing for the second layer of Zerg tech, and fighting against that Queen. Oh, he's gonna get that Queen killed. There it is, nice kill there for the Banshee. Now it's basically a green card to keep going and killing as many workers as he can, forcing EGIdrA to pull away all of his workers, and this is gonna hit his economy, as you might imagine. There it is, his economy is way lower than Drewbie's, because basically he's having a huge harassment on his main base, but he didn't lost any time. He just grabbed all of his workers, pulled them to try to keep as many alive as possible, and at the same time taking care of the rocks on the rich mineral field. So I think he's just planning ahead and getting himself ready to grab his third base, while Drewbieis still playing out of a single base. Incoming another Queen, trying to finish off this Banshee. I'm not sure if it's going to be possible. No, 5 kills and pulling back. And meanwhile inside Drewbie's base, as you can see, 3 racks play with the starport and the factory with some tech lab attached, getting some upgrades, as you can see, for the bio ball, combat shield and steam packs getting ready there. And also already the orbital command is set and ready to go for the natural expo, but I don't think it's going to be possible with this wave of Zerglings just waiting for it. Meanwhile the Banshee is heading down. I think he's going to have some free kills here. There it is, 6 kills and probably 7, I would say. There it is, 7 kills, not bad for the Banshee, I guess, but still could have done more. I guess we're going to see more of this Banshee action later on. And meanwhile Drewbie landing his orbital command on the natural expo, finally playing out of 2 bases, while on EGIdRA's side, Larry's ready, everything just going fine. He got some shots on that spawning pool, but nothing to worry about for now, and getting Baneling's Nest and Spire on the natural expo. So probably evading some of the scans that Drewbie might put on his main base, trying to hide the tech. I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not. And at the same time, EGIdRA clearing the rocks, probably preparing to expand even more here to the left side, to the west. It's an option, I guess, and he just lost his Banshee. It was really weak. That Queen just finished it off, I think. I guess we can check that on the picture-in-picture later on. While the forces from Drewbie advance once more, this time transitioning into siege tanks to back up his Marine, and also a Medivac to keep some of those Marines healed, I guess. So, small bulk of forces advancing once more. Let's take a look at the army count, 78 against 76. Quite close, actually. Clearing some of those creep tumors, making sure he's going to be able to receive the creep spread. He knows how much it costed him that he didn't do that on the previous matchup. And now Banelings and Zerglings trying to blast away as many of those Marines as possible. Oh, nice splash there, but there's still plenty of Marines alive, so it wasn't exactly perfect, but still was able to grind down these forces from EGIdRA, from Drewbie, I'm sorry, and finish off this assault. Drewbie just being slowly sending small waves of aggression, small waves of units towards EGIdRA, but EGIdRA has been defending it just fine, and for now I think he's just playing out of 2 bases perfectly well. He's been droning out his mineral lines, trying to get as close as to being saturated as possible. As you can see on the worker count is still quite close. Now we have Mutalisks harassing on the main base, forcing a cancel on that building there, and now having to pull back because the Marines with Stim are just waiting for them, and Marines with Stim will just put down Mutalisks so quickly. He needs a much bigger Mutalisk squadron than this, no questions asked. Meanwhile here on the productions, as you can see, we have some upgrades going down here for Drewbie. Infantry armor getting ready, also getting another factory on his main base. There's the upgrades, the engineering bay working on the upgrades, and EGIdRA just pulling back for a little while grabbing the rich mineral field. So 3 base play incoming here, and Drewbie clearing the path to the east so he can grab another expansion there to the far east, I would say, with EGIdRA flying once more with his Mutalisks, trying to harass as much as possible on this main base from Drewbie. Will he be going to be able to take this refinery down? Oh, this is going to be a delay on the gas production for Drewbie. Not the biggest annoyance ever, but still a delay. And the incoming finally Marines trying to force EGIdrA to pull back with his Mutalisks and finally get some peace and quiet on his main base. Not easy with the micro level that EGIdrA has and that amount of Mutalisks flying around his base. This will never be easy. Now Drewbieexpanding to a third base here, sending a lot of SCVs. I'm pretty sure that by now the income should be with EGIdrA a bit ahead, based on the fact that both players are on 3 bases, but EGIdrA has the rich mineral field, and he is pulling ahead just by a bit, though the worker count is quite similar. And now we're gonna have Drewbieadvancing. Oh, EGIdrA was trying to snipe one of the units there, probably the siege tank I would say, but there's a lot of Marines helping out, defending the mech units here, and all of them going way north, getting ready to blast away EGIdRA's units. He has some banelings here. Let's take a look at the unit composition. He has 15 Mutalisks, getting more banelings down. Nice snipe there. And now some queens and 10, 12 Zerglings for now. So not much. Whoa, 30 Zerglings. That was quick. They just hatch all at the same time. While on Drewbie's side, 31 Marines backed up by 4 siege tanks. A fairly standard army, I would say. Army-wise, as you can see, EGIdRA is pulling ahead, 123, but still very close, 125 now. They're just neck and neck, and EGIdRA, every time he pulls back a bit further, pulls ahead a bit further, Drewbiejust answers back, getting some more units. So they're quite balanced, and a lot of Marines there waiting for the units, waiting for the Mutalisk squadron from EGIdRA, and finishing it off really quickly. EGIdRA attempting to grab a 4th base was instantly spotted by that Marine, and all the forces entering the creep. This is going to be complicated. Drewbie knows what happened on game 1, so he needs to be aware of that. Oh, massive loss there with the banelings. There was a lot of banelings destroyed there way before they reached the Marines, and now there's plenty of Marines to shoot down the Mutalisk force, grinding down EGIdRA's army to a very low level. As you can see, for one of the first time ever on this match, we have EGIdRA falling back by quite a bit on the army count, 130 against 110, with Drewbiejust leading the way, finishing off the rich mineral field here. And meanwhile, a second battle ensues in the middle of the field, and EGIdRA just left the game. Whoa, he wasn't happy about this. There was this battle ensuing here, but basically was just finishing off a small group of Marines, and he just lost his rich mineral field. So I'm assuming that EGIdRA mentally thought that, well, he just didn't have what it take. His economy was getting a big blow, and he wouldn't be able to just recover from it before Drewbietrampled all over him. So Drewbie taking the win on this one. Nice moves by Drewbie, nice pressure since the early stages of the game, and actually paid off with all of these small pushes and now this bigger one in the final stages of the match. Playing out of 3 bases, he was just fine economically, as you can see, especially now with the shot on the rich mineral field. He was just boosting ahead. Also the mules help and such. He actually had an armory here, but I didn't saw any Thors whatsoever. He didn't have any yet. Probably was planning ahead to finish off that Mutalisk wing. But quite well organized by Drewbie. Took the win out of EGIdRA's hands on this matchup and tying the series. So we're going to have to go for a final matchup, a third match, to see who takes the final victory. Nice match by EGIdRA as well. He went and resisted most of the offense by Drewbie, but got to this point where he couldn't just sustain it anymore. He couldn't just handle it anymore. And he just left the game with no GG, nothing whatsoever. So on this situation, we didn't even have one. Yeah, no GG. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let's go for game 3.